This video is in response to tough questions for Jehovah's Witnesses. The question pertains to Jehovah's Witnesses being false prophets. And I have to say that this is a tough question for Jehovah's Witnesses to answer. In fact, it's a question that they cannot answer, and I'll explain why. But we have to keep in mind, usually when people ask questions, they want us to draw a certain conclusion. That was the case when Jesus was on the earth. The Pharisees and Sadducees, they were always trying to trip Jesus up by asking certain questions. And I think that's the case with those that pose this question. And they use the scripture there in Deuteronomy, it's part of the law of Moses, that said, if any man speaks in the name of Jehovah and predicts things to come and they don't come true, then he's a false prophet. And you were to put that man to death. But reason upon the verse, please. Israel was God's nation. Did a false prophet in their midst mean that the entire nation of Jehovah's people were false prophets, even those who may have believed the false prophet? Well, no. By the same reasoning, Jehovah's Witnesses do not establish biblical interpretation. Everyone knows that comes from Brooklyn. So even if those men do fit the criteria of being a false prophet, that does not mean that Jehovah's Witnesses are issuing false prophecy. It means that they are victimized by a false prophet. So let's reframe the question. Is the leadership of Jehovah's Witnesses, do they fit the criteria of being false prophets? They speak in the name of Jehovah and they have made false proclamations. In fact, the entire 1914 doctrine is false. So yes, the leadership of Jehovah's Witnesses are false prophets. Does that mean that Jehovah's Witnesses are not the true faith? No, it doesn't. It means they're victimized by false prophets. The Apostle Peter foretold, there will be false prophets among you, just as there were false prophets among the Israelites. So the true Christian congregation would be menaced by men who are like false prophets. In the book of Ezekiel, the 13th chapter, Jehovah refers to the prophets as the stupid prophets. And he goes on to say, I have it open here, my hand has come to be against the prophets that are visioning untruth and that are divining a lie. In the intimate group of my people, they will not continue on. And in the register of the house of Israel, they will not be written. And to the soil of Israel, they will not come. And you people will have to know that I am Jehovah. I am sovereign Lord Jehovah. For the reason that they have led my people astray, saying, there is peace, there is peace. So it says plainly here that Jehovah's people have been led astray by men whom he calls the stupid prophets, who are divining a lie, and they will not continue on in the midst of Jehovah's people. That fits the situation of Jehovah's Witnesses presently. And in fact, I've written a book that delves deeply into this issue of the falsity of 1914 and Jehovah's Witnesses being menaced by what Paul referred to as the man of lawlessness. Recall now, Paul issued a stern warning to Christians. He said that if men say that the day of Jehovah is here in the presence, and they write apostolic-like letters and inspired expressions, Paul said, do not be quickly shaken from your reason. The presence and the day of Jehovah will not come unless the apostasy comes first and the man of lawlessness gets exposed. So the man of lawlessness is promoting a false parousia. And that's exactly what the Watchtower Society has been doing. The real parousia has not commenced yet. And when it does, then Jesus Christ will unveil the man of lawlessness, concealed within, as it said in Ezekiel, the intimate group of my people. So these stupid prophets are connected with this man of lawlessness, which has authority over Jehovah's people and is in his place because of the power of Satan, with every lying sign and portent for those who are perishing. So with the coming of Christ, it will be necessary to discard that lie that Jehovah's Witnesses are laboring under. So it's involved, but the prophets do, in fact, point out that Jehovah's people will be under the influence of a false prophet up until the time of Christ. And then it will be necessary to discard that which we had accepted as the truth. And that's why Jehovah allows this operation, that those who get to believing the lie may be judged if they do not accept the love of the truth. Just knowing the truth is not enough. We have to love the truth. And that will be a difficult test. Anyway, 10 minutes is hardly enough time to discuss this, but like I say, I have written a book on the topic. Jehovah himself has become king, delves into pretty much all the Hebrew prophecies as well as Revelation. Anyway, thank you.